What time is it? It's 6 o'clock, and it's time for the most wanted Latino men in the country. Angel Martinez and Rich Quinones, Martinez Company on the Tony Bruno Sports Network. The fastest and most interactive show in the universe. Here's Angel and Q. Let's go!
It feels good to see the world getting loose. Feels good to see the world getting loose. I don't know about you, Sack Noel. I don't know about you, Phenom. I don't know about you, White Shadow. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I'm 2 plus 2, I'm for show. You down, I'm down, baby, let's go. You stop, you drop, baby, then roll. You twerk, you pop, booty so swole. I'd hate me too if I were you. And when it comes to billions, I'll take 2. It's only one life, you don't get 2. So live life, don't let it live you.
I got a pocket full of $100 bills. Put on a jacket, cause these diamonds give you chills. 2 shots I'm running, 2 out I'm stunning tonight. Yeah. Look in the mirror, I'm like, who the hell is he? So many whips and cribs, I'm losing track of keys. Ooh, up to something. Ooh, yeah, I love it, alright.
Yeah, I'm drinking out the bottle. Get loose, hanging with supermodels. Get loose, feel like I hit the lotto. I don't know about you, but I feel good.
Once again,
I don't know about
you, but I know I definitely feel good because I am here along with Ricardo Quinones, Angel Martinez, Rich Quinones, Martinez Company live on the Tony Bruno Sports Network Monday through Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. And as we always do, other than the new intro that you guys have been seeing now for the beginning of the week, hopefully you guys will really enjoy that one, the visual and audio version of it. Of course, we like to change things up every once in a while, but because of Miss Robin, she likes to every once in a while say, hey, do this. And it's done. That's just the way we work around here. It's like poof, like magic. Either way. But thank you all for joining us once again here live tonight on the Tony Bruno Sports Network, the best damn sports network on the planet. And as I told you guys just a couple days ago, we are now live in the space station. Yes, the International Space Station has a big Bluetooth speaker up there, and they broadcast because they've downloaded the apps from the Google and the App Store. Therefore, they can hear all the stuff that happens throughout the day on the network, way out there in outer space. So thanks to everybody. Hopefully you guys are all safe out there. And what a day. Other than it was 81 degrees here in Tampa, Florida. Still is about 76 degrees right now. Quinones, I know it may not be as warm up in your area, but I did hear, I think earlier today, sounds like a lot of rain that was coming off your windshield.
Yes. Yeah, but it beats having that annoying sound of the friggin' your turn signal that for some reason, I don't know, when you purchase your automobile, maybe it's permanently broke or you just choose not to. I know exactly when you're making a right somewhere in Tampa. But yeah, 48, a lot of fog today. Hey, I am curious. So they can hear us in outer space is what you're saying?
That's right.
Interesting. That would be pretty cool if we got a comment from somebody.
and from the International Space Station?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Listen, I'll talk to, what's my guy here? Elon. I'll make sure that he gets in contact with somebody down there at the Space Canaveral here in Florida.
Oh, and yeah, I mean, he can make that, call. Hell. We should tweet at him, get him to friggin' retweet it. That's what we need to do.
That is true.
I might have to lead the charge on that because I have absolutely no problem directing a tweet at anyone, even Martha Stewart or
there you go.
Hayek. Well, some Hayek, I might have to backtrack.
Daggone it! You know what? Now see, good thought now for next bumper.
Well, I mean, listen, I don't know why I was bored the other night when I was prepping for my broadcast this weekend. So they had like Magic Mike's like Last Dance, right? Because why not? You have to have 3 of them. Man, she is just friggin', she is dropped dead. I'm telling you, when she was created, like the man above, like God, Jesus just turned around and said, let me just put together the most perfect woman. And it is Salma Hayek.
See,
without question.
He was listening to you. That's the whole thing. He just figured, you know what? If I talk to my man Rich, I'm pretty sure he knows exactly who to talk to, who to see. All the good fun stuff. She is. I mean, listen, for some women, I will say this much. And by the way, we are also broadcasting to a new but familiar destination. It's been a while, but I'll bring it up here momentarily. Some women, we know that sometimes some women get their looks early, right? And then 30-ish, 40, it goes reverse. Some women are late bloomers. And then you have others, as they continue to age, it's like a fine wine. They just continue to get better and better and better. So she might, she could fall into that
There's
category.
crop of them. Oh, they're out there, my friend. Oh, they're out there. But yes, as you said, we can't even say a slow news day because actually, my biggest takeaway today in the world of sports?
What's that?
Two stories that came down.
All right.
One was the kid that played at LSU, now with the Patriots, a wide receiver that got pinched for online illegal gambling, which I'm sure we'll talk about. And the fact that the Falcons hired Raheem Morris, which means the hoodie, as it stands at this moment, does not have a head coaching gig.
Nope.
And I have a couple thoughts, and I want to, when we're ready to get into it, I want to get the listeners, the commenters, and I want to get your thoughts on why Bill Belichick is not coaching at the moment.
Yeah. Well, no, we'll get into it a little bit later on. It was funny because Tony and Miss Robin and I were just talking about it on the crossover, and I posed the same question on why he hasn't been, because you figure he had at least two interviews that we know of, two, then supposed alleged, there was a third. Then Raheem Morris comes out of nowhere and then lands the job, which again, not a bad pick whatsoever for Atlanta. They definitely will improve. And now it's the question, do they go with a different quarterback? I mean, there's a lot of holes that need to be filled with Atlanta. Thankfully, they do have cap space. They do have money to spend, but you don't want to spend it all at once. So if you're going to rebuild, you might have to do it through the draft and then see if you can maybe get one or two seasoned veterans, at the league minimum, which is 550, 750,000, and then add some incentive bonuses in there. You can bring it up to $5 million by the end of the season. So you got to do something at least to change it up. And then you have also the offensive coordinator here locally from the Tampa Bay Bucs, Dave Canales, who now becomes the 7th head coach under that owner that they have up there in Carolina. So it's funny because AJ, who was with us from the Aftermath and from the Bucs Report, we had talked about it in the beginning earlier on when I was on his show and he was on mine. And we talked about as far as Dave Canales becoming a head coach. Then if Todd Bowles was going to be let go, which at this point, I don't believe the Bucs are going to let him go, give him another year. I thought Dave Canales would be a good candidate to take over. So now he takes over the helms in Carolina. So I'm not going to say there's going to be instant success there. But again, how much is Tapper going to believe in him when we saw what happened this year?
Yeah, well, you brought it up on last night's show, right? Who would want to take that job? And then my kind of retort was, hey, you got 32 of these job openings when they're available in the NFL. I like the hire. I've liked a couple of the hires, to be quite honest with you, across the league. The Tedesco hire I thought was a smart one as well. Fangio, everyone knows he's got ties to the Philadelphia Eagles, was a consultant a couple years ago. From what I'm told from another reliable source and just a contemporary mind, there are assistants under Howie Roseman. They've got ties to Fangio, so that made sense as well. You kind of connect the dots. Don't be shocked. And I have to give my guy, Professor Shine, credit on this because he mentioned it earlier about an hour ago on BYP. So I want to give credit where credit is due. He goes, don't discount the name of Greg Roman, right? Greg Roman, Ocean City guy, Holy Spirit, South Jersey guy, potentially a name out there, maybe for the coordinator position for the Philadelphia Eagles on the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
But yeah, I find this very interesting, Angel, because you've got Grable, Carroll, Belichick, and let's just say Belichick for a moment, because we're already talking about it, so might as well just get into it, if you don't mind, at this moment. Why do you think that Belichick, there's obviously something going on, right? I don't know if maybe he rubbed someone the wrong way, if Arthur Blank believes maybe it could be a potential power struggle going forward. Is it possible that you have a owner in Robert Kraft that has such an imprint and a foothold and a stranglehold on the NFL with the rest of the league, the commissioner and the other owners? I don't know. Is it possible? Maybe. I'm not suggesting that he's bad-mouthing Belichick, but maybe teams are reaching out to him and perhaps in a diplomatic way is kind of saying, buyer beware. This is what you're going to get with Bill. If you're in it for the long haul, if you're looking for a short 2 or 3 year spurt, this is not the direction you want to go. Again, pure speculation, because you've got the greatest, we can argue, the greatest head coach of all time, and yet he's still on the market.
Yep. No, I agree. Now, before I get to my comment here, don't forget the phone lines and text lines are open. 844-644-TONY, 844-644-8669. So you guys want to make your comments? Of course, you can post it on social medias. You can also post it on the text thread line that you guys can put in there as well. And before I get back to my comment here, as I teased a couple minutes ago, an old stomping ground that has been renewed. And for those who are watching, welcome back, Goose's Monte Cristo Lounge and Tobacconist. Out there and beautiful. No, not brandy wine. Goodness gracious. Wait, let me think. It's been a minute since I thought about it. After Delco, Chester. After Chester, we got... Is it brandy wine? Craps.
I mean, you're giving a pop and a plug to a business.
No, because listen. It's been a minute. It's been up there in Limerick.
I got
Limerick.
I got to call you out. I got to call pilot error on this one.
Oh, come on. All right.
You're giving a pop. What do you want me to Google this place now?
No, that's okay. I'll just do it to myself.
You want me to text your freaking MapQuest? Yeah, that's bad. Not dropping knowledge by you.
Because I was thinking about the county, but it's up there in Limerick. I forget what county that is up there. It's been a minute since I've been back home.
Limerick.
Yay. See.
That's,
I'm thinking brandy wine, but I could be.
That's Montgomery. That's Montgomery County, man.
Okay, Montgo. All right, my fault. My goodness gracious.
Jesus God, you know what? Rewind it. Go back. Put the intro. Start over. What the hell's going on over there?
I do remember, though, it was 250 West Ridge Pike. That I do remember correctly. And there's a great restaurant. So Goose, the owner of the shop, we ended up, it's been probably a little bit over 2 years. So went up there, and beautiful shop, by the way. If you guys want some fabulous cigars, stop by Goose's Monte Cristo. The cigar bar is absolutely phenomenal. Go up there game day, any day for that matter. But it's a great place. He's got lockers set up for you. So if you spend X amount of money, you can go up there to one of the lockers, keep your stuff in there. I mean, the cooler itself, you go inside. I mean, it's a fabulous shop. Him and his son, his wife, do an outstanding job. But I went up there about a little over 2 years ago. It was on September. Matter of fact, I think it was like NFL opening weekend. And when I went up there, we ended up going to breakfast, like, I want to say down the street from the shop. Great little spot. And Goose walks in. He's like the local celebrity. He's kind of like the Charles Barkley, former basketball player, but walks in. It's like Charles Barkley walking into the place. Everybody just kind of gives him the nod. Yeah, there's Goose. There he is. So it was a good time. So yes, Facebook, Goose's Monte Cristo Lounge and Tobacconist. So if you guys ended up watching the show there before, ta-da, we're back there again. So thanks to Goose. Hopefully him and his family are all doing exceptionally well.
I gotta pick on you a little bit, man. I gotta call you out. I
was trying to remember the county.
I don't want to do it though. And that's the thing, because I'm going to come off like a dick, which I typically do for about 2 hours a night. But you're the tag. What is the name of the place again?
Goose's Monte Cristo Lounge and Tobacconist.
Goose's
Monte Cristo Lounge. Yeah, Monte Cristo.
Oh, Monte Cristo. Go ahead.
Lounge. And Tobacconist.
And tobacco.
Nist. As in N-I-S-T. Tobacconist.
Tobacco Nicks.
Nist. N-I-S-T. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? November,
Nist.
India,
Tobacco
Sierra,
Nist.
Tango.
Wait, hold on. You're going to friggin' criticize me right now? You're going to pop to a place. Your tagline should be, hey, Goose's Monte Cristo Lounge and Tobacco Nits, the place where I don't know where the hell it is. Stop by.
That's not true. I remembered the address. I just couldn't remember the freaking county.
Holy
and it's
shit.
funny.
Remind me to never give you a live read.
Listen.
Don't forget to stop by Joe's Tires. Tell them you heard it right here on Martinez and Company on the Tony Bruno Sports Network. They're located at somewhere off of 95. Just keep driving until you see the billboard.
Well, listen, that's not the Titans do not exist down here in Tampa anymore. But you talk about, at least the only thing I forgot was county. Let me tell you about the one time I was doing a broadcast, one of the games out there, and the sponsor was King Chiropractic, right? Okay. Never heard of a place before ever in my life. So I said to the person who was running the team, I'm not going to say their name to protect the innocent, but I say, by the way, do we have like an address, a website or something? He's like, it's just King Chiropractic. So I mentioned it like 2 or 3 times during the broadcast. And the one day, finally, somebody comes up with a comment and says, where can I find them? I just shrugged my shoulders. I don't know. Look for King Chiropractic.
That's bad, man.
It is.
Bad.
But
that's a bad spot. By the way, you got to blame accounts for that because I had to do a live read for a breast augmentation. And all I know is about 10 seconds in, and trust me, the client laughed. The station at the time was not happy with me. But all I know, yes, thank you. All I know is that
I get you focused.
My read kind of went on the line of, hey, if you're looking, ladies, blah, blah, blah. And I think I said something like, hey, breast, who doesn't like
Oh, my goodness. For those who are listening on the digital radio app, what I have up on the screen is Selma Hayek in a bikini, and I did it just because my man Q... Hey, listen, one is during the sunset. I think the other one is maybe just before sunrise. So I figured, combination of both there. There'll be 8x10s sent to you. It should arrive in a couple days.
Yeah, another life. Another life.
No, but as far as with Belichick, to me, it's either Tony said it as well on the crossover where he believes that it would be because he demands too much, and you had hinted to it a couple days ago as well. But I think that may be a part of it. You're also looking at it too, and let's not kid ourselves. Are you just chasing the 14 wins? Think about it. Listen.
But what difference does it make? Come on, you know this. If you can go out and hire him, he gives instant credibility to a franchise. He wants to continue to coach.
Right.
As far as a GM, he slipped over the years. We can agree with that, but he's still a very good defensive coordinator, defensive mind. He doesn't care what the offense is doing in that division. Come on, Atlanta, New Orleans, Carolina, right?
Yeah. I mean,
that's a horrible division. So I believe the other shoe that we were waiting for dropped yesterday, and that was Harbaugh to the Chargers. And I think that eliminated a lot of potential prospects because a lot of teams were maybe hoping that Harbaugh would interview with them. And then the next in line would have been Belichick. I don't believe he's chasing Shula's record to just retire. I believe he's got that ego where he wants to turn around, and not only does he want to surpass Shula, but he also, kind of like Brady when he went to the Bucs, wants to prove that he doesn't need New England. And he can win. Remember, when he was with Cleveland to start his career, he went to the playoffs. He won 11 games one season.
Right.
I believe they won a playoff game. So his sustained success, obviously, was 20-something years close to it with the New England Patriots. I'm just a little surprised, man. I'm surprised, my Washington prediction thrown out the window. The only thing I can think of is he takes a year off. He's got such an affinity for the New York Giants. If the Giants have a down season and you see more of Brian Dable's antics, who's to say the Giants don't move on from Brian Dable and then make a run at Belichick? Again, that's crystal ball in the future. But I'm a little surprised he has not been hired yet for some of those teams that obviously have filled the spot for coaching.
Was there somewhere else other than the Giants that he had? I mean, so again, hypothetically, Sean Payton with Denver. Would Denver be a spot that would be attractive to him?
I think you got to look at every spot. We have to look at the personnel, who's in place. you also got to start and end with the quarterback, right? Because that's why I kind of question Atlanta. Why would you want to go to Atlanta unless you're going to bring in a bridge quarterback? I thought Washington made the most sense. Go to Washington,
that's what
bring
everybody
in
talked
Russell
about.
Wilson for 2 years. You have new ownership. You want to sell tickets. You want to come off with a bang. You know how to handle the media. Here we go. Right now, we're just speculating, man. I mean, he's probably at the point where he would love to have a quarterback in place as opposed to starting from scratch. That's just my thought. But I know anytime Belichick's asked about the Giants and that franchise, he'll choke up. He tears up. And, listen, they didn't have a good season. There was a lot of friction in that locker room too. Wink Martindale, Brian Dable. They got a $160 million issue right now with their quarterback and Daniel Jones. So who's to say if things don't go south after next year? If Belichick's doing TV or taking a year off with his girlfriend, who's to say his name doesn't pop up again?
It's true. I mean, it's all valid points, but even I'm kind of surprised Seattle, in a way, I mean, Seattle's really not bad, truthfully. We know Pete Carroll, I mean, it's not like he left it in shambles. And I would think that'd be a nice destination for Belichick, but I guess he doesn't want to go way out west because I know, his family, obviously, being more on this side of the coast. I think he's got a couple kids maybe out in California, something like that, or there's seeds somewhere. But the other thing too is, and Joey B, good evening, sir. How are you? I'm still waiting for it. There's going to be no, that's at the bottom of the hour, but the exchange of pleasantries. And by the way, where's Mickey? Speaking of, do we have to put out Mickey Watch?
I mean, I should hope not. Maybe he just had a extended birthday and is just kind of, taking it easy today. Maybe recouping, maybe sleeping, napping, maybe playing a couple rounds. I don't know. Your point. Yeah.
Did he go to the senior citizens strip club that we just made last night?
Ooh. I don't know, though. He still took a couple shots in me, so I would really be hesitant. I don't know if I'm letting him through the velvet rope.
Okay. All right. I was just throwing it out there. By the way, Joey B says...
Listen, I don't hold grudges, but I hold grudges.
That's a Northeast thing. Joey B says, is that a green sweatshirt? 4th day in a row of a new sweatshirt color for Quinones.
It's you have to recycle, Joe.
Of course.
I mean, what are we doing here?
No, there it is.
What we got breaking news?
Mickey Watch 2024. Brought to you by Joey B. Man, listen, I'm just saying, I hope the guy's okay because he's been hiatus now officially from the show for 24 hours.
It's bizarre that you say that. When I had a caller years ago.
Right.
That was like that. So there was a guy, his name was Paul from Middletown, and he would call on my show all the time, and he had this thick Boston accent. He was a Patriots fan, religious caller, nonstop, 3+ years. Then he's driving one day, and he's talking to me on the phone about the Patriots, and he's like, I got to go. I'll call you back. And I was like, oh, okay. Never, ever heard from the guy.
Oh, no. Did he owe some money that came to break his legs?
No, I don't know. I mean, it could have been like a Dateline special, man. I don't know. He just literally went dark.
Wow.
Went dark.
That's interesting. Oh, and by the way, as you didn't get a chance to see me when obviously we were coming out from Tony into our show, the medical advice commercial came on. I'm a happy camper. That time, my favorite commercial by far.
Oh, I heard it. I already I didn't jump on early enough for the crossover, but I heard the tequila commercial.
Yeah, no, but I was saying I threw my arms up in the air because that's to me that's the best. One of the better vintage commercials, just because what the lady says. If consuming alcohol may make you pregnant unless you want to be pregnant and some other stuff in there. But the stuff that you can get away with back in the day that you can no longer get away with anymore, unfortunately. But no, it's just, maybe you're right. It could be Belichick as we're quickly coming up here at the end of the first quarter. Unbelievable how quickly the show's going by tonight as well. But maybe he will take, I guess, a year off. Okay, so if let me think. I'm surprised that okay, I am surprised with the Commanders because all the talk and chatter prior to the end of the regular season, not the NFL season, but the end of the regular season, everything pointed to him going to the Commanders. So now it makes you wonder who the Commanders are going to end up hiring. Then, on top of that, I guess if you're looking into next year, because you have the Bears who kept Matt Eberflus, it makes you wonder then if let's just say Eberflus doesn't make it next year or it ends up having a heck of a year, I would think Belichick, I mean, I don't know how, again, Chicagoans would end up receiving him, but that team is, again, they're not far away from contending.
Belichick and the Bears kind of make sense too, right? You could just kind of see him roaming that sideline. Everyone was trying to connect the dots, Harbaugh to Chicago. Again, what I'm hearing, what I'm reading, apparently Belichick kind of wants more of a reserved destination, a little quieter destination. So maybe that's limiting his opportunities. I mean, if that's the case, he's not going to Carolina for that ownership, meaning, I guess, the spotlight, right? Because you're in Boston, you had that success, the type of media, Philadelphia, New York. But look, he's only interviewed with one team, and that was the Falcons. Since him and New England parted ways, I think it was January 11th. He met with them twice. So I don't know. Is it possible where he's at in his career, he doesn't want to deal with aggressive reporters, aggressive media?
Are there still aggressive media? Because the last I checked, they're pretty soft.
Who?
The media.
No. What, but Boston?
No, mine is Boston.
I mean, there's some players that, especially in baseball, you'll see them take a lot more money than an opportunity to win and say play in Milwaukee,
okay,
St. Louis, Seattle. Why? Because if they are 1-31 and they're batting 186 in April, no one's really going to give a shit.
Right.
I mean, the fans will to some extent, but it's not like Boston, Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, where every day you're standing up there. Why'd you go 1-4? Why's your batting average under the Mendoza line? How come you're 0 for 13 with 9 strikeouts? Are you not feeling comfortable? Is this a bad park for you? Right. So, or are you pressing? The media is going to get on you no matter what. Belichick's probably at this certain point where he doesn't want to sit up there and keep saying, we're on the Cincinnati, we're on the Cincinnati, we're on the Kansas City, we're on the Kansas City. Hence, maybe taking a year off to see all these other dominoes that might drop. Who's to say all these coordinators that are getting these jobs right now in these different spots are going to last in a year or two? It's just my thinking out loud, man. It's just, and the other name, and I mentioned it last night, that I feel should be getting a closer look, and I'm glad someone just turned around and commented on it, was Eric Bieniemy. I mean, I thought Eric Bieniemy would be, and Aaron, appreciate that, be in place next in line
right
for a head coaching gig. But Eric Bieniemy, again, by all accounts, and I hear this from James Hasty, former Kansas City Chief defensive back, who's very close with Bieniemy, they've talked about what to do in the interviewing process, how to handle yourself. Obviously, Eric Bieniemy, there's something he's saying during this process that is scaring off teams, or there's a red flag. We heard earlier in the season, offensive leaders already came out and they were, a little sensitive to him being very hard on them. So maybe he rubs players the wrong way and coaching staffs the wrong way. I still think he's a very good coordinator. And I do believe he will be a head coach one day. It's just, it appears it's not going to happen this year.
Well, we'll try to figure out who maybe will go to Commanders, because I know we're up against it here. But we'll figure out who to end up going to Commanders. By the way, Aaron, thank you for the comment. Thank you for watching tonight as well. And thank you all for listening in on the apps. Don't forget to download the apps, because we are here on digital radio, and to make it easier, well, download the apps. Therefore, if you're out there, again, whether being in Brandywine, whether being in Montgomery County, Chester County, any county, Euclid County, Aaron, appreciate the love. As he says, heck yeah, I love it. So I appreciate it, Aaron, very, very much. But
any reason why you're a little more demonstrative when you just mentioned those counties?
Why?
I'm not feeling the love right now. I'm not.
From Euclid County?
No. I said, is there any reason you're a little more demonstrative when you were talking about those counties, and then you kind of like gave me the look?
No.
Is it
not
because,
at all. Yeah, no, not at all. I'm sorry. Montgomery County, Chester County, Euclid Township, all those counties out there. Matter of fact, it cracks me up when people that are not from the area, they used to say Uchland. Like, what the hell is Uchland? We have Euclid County. I don't know where you guys got Uchland from, but, just like most of them can't say. I like when a new reporter goes into whether it be in 6 ABC or, CBS 3, NBC 10, and they have to figure out what the hell is a Schuylkill. That's always a big one that they have to get from
676 to Blue Route.
See, but but the funny part is, it's when you look at it, they're like, what the Schuylkill? No, Schuylkill. Big difference. Just like you don't say Lancaster.
Is that French?
Okay. No, Joey B says, wow, Quinones is sensitive tonight.
No, listen, he said, Joey, you got to understand something. Angel sets the tone with his tone. And quite frankly, I'm worried about Mick. He's been MIA.
That's right.
I'm getting a little worried that my shot with Selma and Martha are just gone. And we got to figure out what's going on with this coaching carousel. So we got a lot of stuff we're dealing with at this moment.
That is true. Robert McKenzie, Raheem Morris, My Struggle, and 6 Lombardis, Tony Bruno Sports Network. Wait a minute. My Struggle and 6 Lombardis.
You're going to decipher that?
Yeah. Going to have to. But Robert put it in there. So
Robert's a fan of? Let us know, Robert.
Yeah.
I'm going to
throw it up there, and we'll get to it after the break here because we are past kind of the bottom of the hour here. But anyways, thank you all once again for tuning in. We appreciate it. Also, don't forget the phone and text lines are open at 844-644-TONY, 844-644-8669. Also, thank you for watching us here on the social medias as well. Robert, Steelers. Wow.
Okay.
Insightful talk there with Coach Tomlinson.
6 struggles. There you go. 6 Lombardis. Okay.
Yeah. And now it makes sense. Now it definitely makes sense. Joey B says, Quinones is juggling a lot of balls right now. Selma, Martha, Mickey, and coaching carousel. All right. There you go. As you go into the break, thank you all once again. And don't forget, in the morning, starting off your day is the Pete Shepard Show. From 7 to 10 a.m., he got into it with, talked about Harbaugh. There was just so many different guests that he had on this morning. The very beginning segment, it was Fast and Furious between 7 and 7:30. And then, of course, he has the comedy segment usually between 7:45 and 7:55. So Pete Shepard, the Pete Shepard Show from 7 to 10 a.m., followed by Defo and Luby from 10 to 12. I'm telling you, one of these days, I'm going to call into the show because when I think about Defo and Luby, and I mean this in the most loving way possible, it reminds me, so you remember Beverly Hills Cop, and I keep saying we're going to the break and I'm running over, but remember when, the captain, when he walks up to Taggart and those guys were on the field, Sergeant Taggart, so you mean to tell me this is the man, the short guy with the glasses?
Oh, when he goes, is this the man that wrecked the buffet?
Yeah.
At the Harrison Club this morning?
Yeah, like to me, I feel like that should be like one of their intros because it just when you hear Devo talk, that it reminds me of that, like a comedy segment moment. So
who used a banana as a tailpipe?
Yeah, and then when he goes back and tells the guys, "You're not going to lose me on a banana and a tailpipe trick." Brian McKenzie says, yes. Love the banter between y'all two. Listen, appreciate it. That's because we have fun. The only Latin duo connection here on the Tony Bruno Sports Network. Yes, they needed minorities, and we happen to fit the bill.
Cue the Chiquita banana commercial.
I'll make sure I have it up on cue the next time to put the jingle out there. All right. Don't forget also, Defo and Luby 10 to 12. Then the best of, which myself and Rich were part of it for the last 2 days, which was nice, from 12 to 1 o'clock. Then 1 to 3, the newest show here on the Tony Bruno Sports Network, LFG. Dave Benz, Jim Cozymore, and Matt Felder, producer, along with Jess Taylor. They are on from 1 to 3. Also, Tony and Miss Robin, of course, he's just a legend. Tony Bruno, from 3 to 6 p.m. with Miss Robin. Always a great time with them. They make it a party every single night. And then myself and Rich from 6 to 8 p.m. And then tonight, normally it's the A.J. Johnson show. Not tonight because he has the vid. So he will be off. And Fridays he's not on as well. So he will be off tonight. So he's not there. And then AJ in San Antonio says, maybe Belichick should join WWE after that $5 billion Netflix deal that just went down. I know, that's amazing. That is quite amazing. Oh, by the way, and apparently McMahon is being sued for I'd have to find the story again.
They're still not in the. They're still not. They still lost a substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what, right?
Yeah. No, definitely. That they definitely did. All right. Some vintage commercials coming your way, and then we'll get back at it here as it is 6:35 on the East Coast, 76 degrees here in the Tampa studios, and you are listening to Martinez and Company on the Tony Bruno Sports Network, the digital airwaves. That is Tony Bruno. We'll be right back.
You know I got a break.
You're listening to Martinez and Company
That's right.
on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
When you're looking for a treat to freshen taste and keep breath sweet, get double smoothness, flavor too. Get the gum that's double good to chew.
Double your pleasure, double your fun with double mint gum.
Another public service announcement from Brill Cream. Men, beware. Use one dab of Brill Cream. Just a little dab makes your hair look excitingly clean, disturbingly healthy. This man dared to use 2 dabs. Now he's in trouble. We refuse to be responsible.
Brill cream, Brill cream, Brill cream, Brill cream. A little dab will do ya. Brill cream, you look so debonair. Brill cream, the gals will all pursue ya. They'll love to get their fingers in your hair.
Hello, boys and girls. It's me, the Frito Bandito. You know what I heard about you? I heard you want to be a Frito Bandito like me. You too? Then you must sing the Bandito song. Let's sing together. You just follow the bouncing Fritos corn chips bag. Ay, 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 ay. I am the Frito Bandito. Hey, I like Fritos corn chips. I love them, I do. I want Fritos corn chips. I'll get them from you. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, I am the Frito Bandito. Give me Fritos corn chips and I'll be your friend. The Frito Bandito, you must not offend. Now, boys and girls, you are Frito Banditos too. You sing the Frito Bandito song, and you loco for crunchy Fritos corn chips. That's nice. Munch, munch, munchy bunchy Fritos corn chips. Munch, munchy bunchy Fritos.
You worked too hard, you ate too much, the cheesecake made you greedy. Let your aching head and stomach hear this message from old Speedy. Alka-Seltzer, plop, plop, fizz, fizz, oh, what a relief it is. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz, oh, what a relief it is. Ah, those Speedy Alka-Seltzer bubbles burst into action to relieve your upset stomach and aching head fast. Use only as directed. Oh, what a relief it is. What a relief.
We make people happy
at Baskin-Robbins.
Baskin-Robbins ice cream. We make people happy.
It's so delicious.
Baskin-Robbins ice cream.
We make kids happy.
Grown-ups happy. Makes a fun party for everyone.
We love it.
You love it. World's best ice cream. We make people happy
at Baskin-Robbins.
Baskin-Robbins ice cream. We make people happy
at Baskin-Robbins.
Baskin-Robbins ice cream.
Now, back to Martinez and Company.
It's always playing in my car.
On the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
What other 2 Latino men bring it every night to the best sports network on the planet? Angel and Q on Martinez and Company.
Siempre va a venir para atrás con nosotros. Martinez and Company, yo soy Ángel Martínez, es Ricardo Quiñones. Estamos aquí cada noche, de lunes al viernes, de 6 a 8 de la noche. Y no se olviden que envíen el app en el Google o el Apple Store. Así para siempre pueden escuchar el show de nosotros. Y también pueden llamar al show al 844-644-TONY. 844-644-8669. And for those who come back from the break, Joey B, hang on. As he says, it's like a James Bond Latin version of the show now. Listen, got to change it up. Your mic's not working, sir. Are you muted?
Yeah, because I had to take care of the pup again. All I said is, bueno, gracias por su atención. This dog is going to be the death of me. Oh, my God.
That's what happens when you get a young pup. And listen, what else can you do? By the way, thanks for those who come back. Of course, our Latin community, we like to invite everybody in. It doesn't matter. Latin, whatever your ethnicity is, you are absolutely welcomed here.
Except you all.
Yes,
asshole,
exactly.
jerk off, dickhead. I was just reading this WWE stuff.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Did you read any of this?
Not yet. Who brought it up? Joey brought it up? No, AJ in San Antonio.
There's a suit from 2021 that said Vince McMahon instructed Grant to create personalized sexual content for the WWE.
Oh yeah, when he talked about it, he even named some of the toys wrestler names.
Yeah, this is not good, man.
No,
I mean,
it's stupid. Hey, listen, he was always in hot water. Most of the time, he escaped it. Not anymore. So it's I don't know how much money. Bless you to my producer over there in Studio B, as I can hear from here. Bless you again. She'll get this on a delayed audio. But it's not good. It's not good whatsoever. It's just silly. Quinones, crate training the puppy. My 3 labs are outside. They run on my 3 acres here. All muddy right now. Won't come inside until 9 p.m. when coyotes are around. Joey B.
It's a rescue pup from Puerto Rico. It's 5 months old.
Is he bilingual?
Yeah, he speaks Spanish to her. Yeah, it's a female. It's Kiki. Love her. Adore her. She's my baby. I spoil the friggin' dog. I don't have a problem with it. I can live with a happy dog, even if you poop and pee all over the place. The crate training has been a fucking nightmare. And the pee padding, I'll send you the video.
Right.
When I left today to go to work, this poor little pup is like howling for separation anxiety. And listen, me, I don't have a heart. I was almost in fucking tears because of this dog. But we're working through some issues. We're working through some issues.
That's right. That's good stuff. That is definitely good stuff. By the way, for those, because I'm pretty sure people are probably thinking if we're off, on my Facebook page, you guys can find me over on Broad Street South, because again, I didn't throw up there tonight. So people probably thinking that we're off or something. We're not off. It's just I end up switching pages for the evening as I have to reconstruct some things. Robert McKenzie says, until now, I always thought the Frito Bandito was an evangelical crisscrossing the Rio Grande, telling tales of the legend of Lord of the Grande Fritos. Kind of a Mexican Johnny Appleseed. Come to find out, he brazenly announces he will steal your Fritos. I must have space on that when I was a kid.
Oh, my God.
Great comment. Great comment. And then Joey B follows up with, crate training is rough, but worth it in the end. Yeah. I've had some dogs in my past, and it is the hardest point of them all. And then Joey B says, I'm in tears too when Angel starts lip-syncing during a break. Thank you, Joey. What a wise guy. Oh, dear God. That's what happens here at Martinez Company. 6:44 as the second quarter is quickly blowing by. By the way, speaking of not blowing by, and I am going to have 2, wait a minute, where'd the thing go? God dang it, I hate when things disappear like that. There's going to be 2 stories I'm going to bring up later on in the show, both from courtesy of the New York Post, which I don't normally read that because they've gone so freaking crazy, but these 2 articles actually weren't bad whatsoever. The one
related?
Not really.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm opposed.
Yeah, not really. One teacher who likes to teach. I'll leave that at that one right there. Loves to teach, apparently. From AJ Spur of Spur FM out there on the Twitterverse. Placing 8,900 bets in 13 months amounts to 685 bets per month, 23 bets per day. By these numbers, Bout placed on an average roughly one bet an hour every day for a year. As he's talking about from Front Office Sports, former LSU wide receiver Keyshawn Bout has been arrested on charges related to illegal online gambling. Bout alleged created a fraudulent online account while he was 20, placing over 8,900 bets over 13 months, including 17 on NCAA football, at least 6 on LSU. Holy crap.
Yeah, so let me just, for the novices out, let me just give you just kind of an overlay with this, right? Those are like Wilt Chamberlain type of numbers, right? He deposited about $135,000 into the account, won a total of about $550,000, used most of the money to make additional bets, withdrew about $50,000 from the account, and the fact that he bet on college games, i.e. LSU. Now, again, am I shocked or surprised? Obviously, if 8,900 bets, including some on LSU football while he was still in school,
right?
He obviously has a problem. Who's to say he didn't start betting on himself? And then you got to start to really kick the tires about some of these games and go back and, again, look at fourth quarters and maybe close games. Then you start, for the older guys out there, you start to get in this Art Schlichter, Ohio State, even who was quarterback when he was in jail, was making calls from the payphone. But again, this is what happens when, the hypocrisy, right? Because you got Congress out there. We've seen members of Congress spending millions of friggin' dollars every year, this year, right?
Right.
Basically betting on companies they oversee, whether they fail or they succeed. I mean, it's just dirty money. One hand washes the other. Yet we're going to get on this kid who obviously is an addict. He needs substantial help. I think it's too easy for a lot of younger people, and I would say younger athletes, to get their hands on some of these betting apps, especially overseas. I mean, once you break through that wall, the VPN, because now what happens is the states that allow for legalized gambling, and I know Florida just started with the online and whatnot, what happens is when you sign up, it's going to say, hey, Angel Martinez, are you in the state of Florida?
Right.
And they have a geolocation, geo tracker. You can't get through that. You can do that overseas and break through the VPN wall, and it makes it so much more easier. And they don't even care where the money's coming from, because a lot of times if you start to deposit money in accounts, let's just say you're using an online said casino. I don't want to name any casinos, but let's just say you have an account in the States with one of these online casinos,
right,
and you deposit funds and you deposit money. Say you win your bet, or you win your online gambling, whether you're playing the slots or blackjack or poker. When you go to withdraw that money, Angel, you have to, if you went PayPal to PayPal, you're fine. But let's just say you cash advance on a credit card and deposited money, or you put in money from a checking account. You've got to send me proof back of your account. I need to see your bank statement. I have to see your ID. I've got to see a utility bill, a phone bill, something that has your name and address, just to show proof. So a lot of people that do this overseas, you don't need any of that. I deposit the funds, I get the money right away. It's different in the States. It's more sanctioned. There's more eyeballs. There's ways to tell red flags. He basically circumvented everything by going the illegal online route. That's why he was arrested. But I think, the problem, again, is we got on Calvin Ridley for making bets.
Yeah.
Paid the price. The NFL is in bed with all these betting companies. What do they expect is going to happen? I'm not talking about back in the day, Alex Karras or Paul Hornung, shaving points, betting on games, or what happened with Arizona State or Providence in the early 80s, or I mentioned Ohio State. What did they expect? Like these stories are not shocking to me. They're not. I'm telling you, there will come a time where it might be a prominent player, which will know something's up, because if a prominent player puts $5 million on a game, the line's going to move substantially. But it's not. we're acting as if, oh my God, the only thing that's surprising is the amount of number of bents. He wasn't cut off and he needs some help. And you hope the kid gets some help. Forget about his career in the NFL. That's probably going to be done.
Yeah.
But we're acting shocked and surprised and we throw our hands in the air. For Christ's sakes, you have a team in Vegas. Where's the Super Bowl this year?
Vegas. Yep.
It's just the hypocrisy is just, it's really just remarkable where the NFL has gone with this crap.
It is.
I still hearken back to 30 years ago when you used to watch the NFL Today and it had Brent Musburger, whose nephew created the Visa Network, VISN. They do all the gambling, but you had Musburger, you had Jimmy the Greek, you had a cast of characters. He never, ever said the line, ever. It was taboo. He never said the Giants are 7-point favorites. He would typically say the Giants are a touchdown better. Why? Because it was taboo back then. And now, 30 years later, look where we're at. Every effing thing you see in a football broadcast, the player props, the total, the under, the line is brought to you by FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars. Every commercial, Jamie Foxx, every commercial, Gronk, every commercial, Peyton, and everyone is pushing. So everyone sits there and they go on their high horse. Oh my God, this is why you can't. Come on. What are we doing? Everyone's all in bed with gambling, especially the NFL. So a story like this to me is sad, and I hope this kid gets some help, but it's not shocking or surprising at all.
It's not. And you're right, because again, now look at the NFL now, right? Wanting to get into it and save ESPN, all because they have now a sports betting app. So it's like they found every loophole possible to say, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. But in the meantime, we want you to gamble.
Well, you got to do RG. You have to throw responsible gaming out there and gambling to protect yourself. But yes, you're Johnny on the spot. Johnny on the spot, right? You're an alcoholic. You're working at a bar. Well, drink in moderation, right? What they're saying is, we want you to bet, but do it responsibly. These kids today on these apps, man, you $50, $100, $150. All of a sudden, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000.
Yep.
It's
well, because they get their little, they get their little. I don't want to call it like chump change, but you know, they have the Acorn app. They make a little money there. They quickly take it out. They go and gamble. Then they think they're going to make the money back. In the meantime, you got taxes, all the good fun stuff you have to end up paying for. But I mean, they're
uneducated. They don't understand.
But listen, that's been the biggest problem in college and high school. And to me in high school, right? Because there's some courses really in high school, pish posh applesauce, like they should be gone. To me, my thing is start showing kids at an early age to say, you know what? We're going to show you what it is to actually have credit, how to put money away, how to make sure that you are making your money work for you versus vice versa. But the problem is that they won't, because they want to see you fail. When you go to college, what's the first thing you do? You go into debt, right? Unless you're this, monkey moron that's running the country, and all of a sudden he forgives you, illegally, but maybe he's just gambling in other places. But my thing is that you go out there and none of these kids are told anything. Now, some of the places are finally starting to hire people like USF, for example. When I talked to Coach Hernandez, he talked about all the steps and the people that they have in place to make sure, before you hit the hard court, before you hit the football field, baseball field, whatever, you got to go through this course that tells you how to be financially savvy. So they want to make sure whether you make it or you don't make it, you know how to set yourself up for the future.
But everything, again, I agree with you, but there's two, in one breath, we're talking about money management and being smart, right? When you're in college and you're working a job, we all did it. We're in high school, we're working jobs, fine. College, working jobs, we all did it. Working right now as we speak. I'm talking from a gambling standpoint, some of these young kids, because they have access to these apps in real time.
Correct.
And these gambling apps, and I know this for a fact because I used to work for some of these apps and online. I know what they do. You've got your bankroll and I'm going to give you 1,000 because we're going to match that 1,000. You don't have really 2,000. You got to play through a wagering requirement. So you think you really are going to pull $2,000 when you're really not. You got to play through it. Then you're adding more money. And then all of a sudden we're going to throw you more promotions. Why? Because the last thing we want you to do is take your money and run.
Right.
We want you to keep that money right there in betangel.com because we know it's safe and secure and sound. And more importantly, we know there's a high probable chance, probability that you're going to bet all that money down and you're going to lose it. And then what are you going to do? You're going to come back and you're going to deposit more money. Look, we've all gambled in our lifetime. We've sat at the tables. We've done sports betting. All I'm saying is let's not contradict ourselves with this crap, right? And then sit there when some of these kids who lose 10, 15, 20, $30,000, some of them turn around, they put a bullet in their head. Some of them friggin' drive a car off the cliff. Some of them commit suicide. Some of them have no idea that they're in so deep. I mean, it is an addiction. It's rough to watch. But I just hate the fact that the NFL wants to pretend like, they want nothing to do with this.
Correct.
And they are humping it at every chance they get. And that's the problem I have.
Yep. No, fairly agreed. Joey B says, I'm married with 3 kids and 3 dogs. $2 is my max bet, LOL. Hey, listen, Pete Shepard talks about it in the morning. Never bet. What are you, and you even say, Q, I'm back to your play, I believe. Don't bet it, more than like 20%, even less than that?
I mean, you have a bankroll. Everyone has a bankroll. I equate it because, you sit at the tables and say you play blackjack. You want to sit at a $10 table, you can sit with $150, $200, and it can last you maybe 45 minutes to an hour and a half. Back in the day, Borgata had one $5 table. You sit for $100 on a Saturday, drink coffee, and kill a day. You're not sitting at a $25 or $50 table with $200. You're going to burn through your money. It's bankroll, right? My guy, the prop that joins me, the handicapper on BYP, always talks about money management, never chasing your losses. And that's the problem what these kids do. They lose at 1 o'clock. They want to double up at 4 o'clock. Now they're in panic mode. So they want to double up again for the 8 o'clock game. Holy shit. I got to think about how I can get some bread real quick and do a cash advance for Monday Night Football to recoup. The worst thing in the world. It's like reverse progression betting. You and I sit down real quick, 30-second lesson. You and I sit down at a blackjack table.
Okay.
We're betting $5 a hand. Well, we're betting $10 a hand, right? $10. We lose. Now we bet 20, we lose. Now we bet 40, we lose. Now we bet 80. That's reverse progression betting. Why? Because we think in our mind, mentally, the odds are in our favor. Where that 5th bet, we're going to win. And then what happens? It's a wash. We recouped all of our losses and we start over. That's what the inexperienced, not educated, novice, jackass, head up his ass, young gambler does. Progression betting in the positive way is, boom, we win 2 in a row, bump it to 15. We win 3 in a row, bump it to 20. We win 4 in a row, bump it to 25, 30, right? Take your chances, get on a good run, get a good shoe of cards, double split, get out of there, get off the table in 45 minutes. We call it hit and run. It's totally different in sports betting because now you can do parlays, first rebound, first point, first kick, the flip, the color of the Gatorade for the Super Bowl. There's too much. There's too much. So if I'm a young guy and I got $1,000 to dick around with, which at 18, 19, hey, God bless you. We never did. But if you're in that position, you're going to sit there and go like this. And the parlays are don't even get me started.
All right.
Just be educated. That's all I'm saying. Educate yourself. You don't walk into a car dealer and the girl says, hey, I got a pretty car for you, and walk out in 5 minutes. Like, educate yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. Educate yourself.
Yeah. That's a gamble within itself in a dealership. We've got stories about that place as well.
Bad
exactly. Jory B says kids in their 20s burning cash on bet apps. Agree, 100% Rich. And then he follows up with, I hit a parlay for $65. I bought extra dog food and bones at Costco to stock up. Leave it up to Joey B.
That's handling your money the right way.
That's right. Buy extra bones. There you go. By the way, Joey B has been part of the, not only Broad Street South, I mean, he's been around for as long as he's been listening to Tony Bruno for years as well, has been part of, at least with my network, for the last 3 years, and I can't thank Joey enough because it's always fun. Now, when he goes missing, that's when I really have to put feelers out there, because when Joey B goes missing, that's a big one. But listen, we're on now, hour number 25. Mickey watch. No Mickey.
I mean, listen, I'm going to be real upset if tomorrow I'm having my coffee and I just turn the carton around and, have you seen
he's there?
Guy?
It could happen. He mustn't. Somebody must have taken him off for a grand old time for his birthday. I'll say that much. So that's Mickey, right? Make sure you're okay. We might have to send out maybe we'll send out Interpol. Interpol will find them within 5 minutes. Guaranteed. They put tracking devices on you. Just saying.
I mean, do I dare send him a message on Facebook and say, hey, Mick, happy belated birthday. Hope you're well?
You would think. As Joey B says, Mickey, call the show. And you can at 844-644-8669. 844-644-8669. Listen, yeah, you know what? Send it to him while we go through. This is a quick turnaround break anyways, because we're at the top of the hour here.
I'm going to do it right now. He might tell me to go kick rocks.
He might tell you that as well. But, all right, 2 things. You'll see 2 quick bumpers, one as we go into the break, and then one as we come out of the break that a lot of people end up loving from yesterday. So if you missed it, we'll have part 1 and then go into the break quickly and then come back with part 2 of set bumper. So once again, you're listening to Martinez Company, Angel Martinez, Rich Quinones on the Tony Bruno Sports Network. Don't forget, following us tonight normally would be AJ Johnson and Bleacher Brothers, but he has the vid, so he will not be around until next week. And then everybody packs up to go to Vegas the following week for Radio Row. But throughout the evening, you can listen to the best of Tony Bruno, then wake up in the morning with Pete Shepard and the Pete Shepard Show from 7 to 10 a.m., followed by Defo and Luby from 10 to 12. You're going to make me laugh here. I'm going to end up screwing up. The best of between 12 and 1. Then LFG 1 to 3 with Dave. See, now you screw me up there. Dave Benz, Jim Cosymore, Matt Fowler, and Jess Taylor. Then Tony Bruno and Miss Robbie. Yes?
What do you keep saying AJ has the what?
The vid. COVID.
Oh, the vid.
Yeah. What do you think I'm saying?
Oh.
Victor India Delta.
I'm well, thank you. 1,400 hours military time. I got you. I just wasn't understanding you.
Okay. I'm sorry. Vid.
We call it the Rona.
All right. Okay. That too. All right. There you go.
Which, by the way, all jokes aside, please, AJ, get well.
See.
Please.
Believe me, he'll make it. This is the second time, though, when he just came back from Vegas, not saying that Vegas gave it to him, but at the end part of last year, right around November, he got sick really bad for like 3 or 4 days in a row. So I don't know. Maybe this is the continuation operation of the Rona. I don't know. Who knows? All right. But don't forget, Tony, Miss Robin, 3 to 6 p.m. Then myself and Q, Angel and Rich, Martinez Company right here, 6 to 8, Monday through Friday. All these shows are, except for AJ Johnson and Bleacher Brothers, they run Monday through Thursday. So quick bumper to send you into the break, and then a quick turnaround because we're right back on. So here's the bumper, and we'll get right back at it.
Go expletive yourself. What the fudge? Why can't I swear? It must be Martinez and Company on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting, and now it's here. TBSN, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Make some noise!
Tune in at 7 a.m. and hear Pete Shepard till 10. And then Defo and Luby from 10 a.m. till noon. And then the man himself, Tony Bruno, and the Tony Bruno Show starts at 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Martinez and Company from 6 p.m. to 8. And we've got more to come. The Tony Bruno Sports Network. Download the app. Tell your friends the game is on. TBSN.
Do you work at Denny's? Have you been picked up by Q? He will take you for a wild ride. He knows how to work the mic. Martinez and Company on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Oh my God.
That's what we do here. Welcome back to Martinez and Company. I told you it was going to be a quick turnaround. It is 7:04 here in Tampa, Florida, and out there in the Jersey Shore as well, as we are all here on the East Coast, even though I am on the left coast down here in Florida. Of course, the corporate studios are in Cape Coral, but we are all here part of the Tony Bruno Sports Network. As I say it all the time, it is the best damn sports network on the planet, and dare I say, in the universe. And thanks to the International Space Station for listening to us out there, including Kuwait. As Kuwait, where I think we have climbed to number 2. If I remember, I think Pete had mentioned this morning.
Who's number 1?
I don't know. Elon, maybe?
No.
He's got a podcast.
Does he?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't hear it?
Elon Musk podcast? No. I really don't. I don't download a lot of podcast stuff.
Okay.
I do have to bring this up real fast with those bets. We said he put in 132 and he won a total of 500,000, but he was only withdrew 50,000. Kind of tells you all you need to know about what you're dealing with those types of apps overseas. That's a $400,000 type of profit, and yet it's still sitting in the account. So that's all I have to say about that. And Mickey has not gotten back to me, by the way. I'm a little. Oh wait, hold on a second.
Oh, do we? Wait,
yes,
wait.
I did. Thank you. There you go. Hold on. Okay.
Hold on. I gotta reset it.
Yes, I did. Thank you. He received it. Happy belated birthday. Shout out. Hope you had a great day. So that means, unless someone hacked into his account.
Yep. We're going to need some forensic evidence. Joey B, get on it. Our forensic expert is here on site, so he can check it out and make sure it actually came from his said IP address. We have people on it right now. So we'll get down to it.
Kind of like Law and Order.
Exactly. A little bit of Dick Tracy, maybe even Dick Trickle. We can get him involved as well.
Speaking of Dick Trickle, how about ESPN looking like a bunch of, I'm not going to say dicks, but little egg on their face with the whole Doc Rivers crap, bringing them on board, firing a couple people. And I saw the clip, Doris Burke and Mike Breen, who is one of the best in the business, I think, if not the best. They thanked Doc Rivers for his many weeks of service.
Come on, man. Do you know how ridiculous that is?
That's what? Come on. Are you kidding me? I would have done the same thing. I would have been sarcastic like that. I mean, shoot. Because you look at all the changes that they had to make, and now they have ridiculous egg on their face. And
sure do.
I'm going to laugh when the Bucs get bounced in the second round and Giannis sits there, after the season talking about he wants to win and to bring in the right players and the coaching staff. It's just.
Although there was a thing, I think it was yesterday, or it might even been earlier today, where they said that him and another teammate were surprised at the move, really because last night before you guys hit the court, you guys were dancing around as if you were happy that your head coach was gone. So which one is it? Are you telling the lie or are you telling the truth? So to me, I think you guys have something to do with it as you become the divas that you are. So I'm just wondering whether there's truth or not to it. By the way,
yeah,
there could be a go ahead if we're up to a third hour. Just saying, just throwing it out there. Just throwing out future purposes. I mean,
that was the moment where the sound. Your timing tonight.
Wait,
and I feel bad. I'm going to text you after.
Breaking news! If we want to do a third hour, we can.
Oh man.
Who do you like everyone on their toes? Yes.
Because I'll be broadcasting tomorrow night, which Mickey should be happy about. So that means Telco Dave, he filled it in for me. I did wanted to get your, everyone's thoughts out there. I'm sure you'll talk more about it tomorrow, but as you kind of look at it right now, Ravens, Kansas City, Detroit, and San Fran, who you liking?
I don't want KC, honestly. I really don't want Kansas City. I'm nothing against Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, I mean, the kid 6. What other quarterback in history has ever entered the NFL and gone to 6 straight AFC championship games? Crazy. So I'm not knocking Mahomes. I'm really just tired of the whole Swift thing. That's where I'm getting at. And listen, she's, from what I understand and what I've gathered, obviously she's very, very polite, regardless of whatever her situations are as far as relationships. she has taken care of people in her circle. And that's great and awesome to hear. As we heard, because she puts on a hell of a show from what I understand. And there's tons of trucks. There's all these moving parts. She gave people 6-figure bonuses. God bless her, because you don't hear many artists doing the same thing. So she, as much as she makes some money, she loves to dish it back out. So on that behalf, I'm fine with. What I'm getting tired of is the whole camera, Swift camera. And pretty soon we're going to have Swift-O-Vision.
But that's not their fault. That's the networks.
Correct.
Because they do the same shit with Jerry Jones every time the Cowboys play on Sunday Night Football or Fox.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah. So, but to me, it's time for somebody new in there. You guys won one last year. Like, come on. And then you have, Ryan, who, the KC fan. But all I want to know is, and Ryan, I know you're probably listening anyways, when Andy Reid retires, you're not getting another coach like Andy Reid. So I want to know, what team are you going to switch, and what's the excuse going to be after that one? Because you left Dallas.
You calling him a fair weather? You're calling him a fraud is what you're doing. You're calling him a fraud.
I want to go.
No. You basically, I'll say it for you. I'll put words in your mouth. I have no problem doing it. You're basically saying we know of someone who is a diehard football fan, and now you're saying once players leave or their head coach retires, he's going to turn around and root for another team. That is a fraud fan.
Listen.
I might have to start some shit on Twitter right about now, or Facebook. I might have to start tagging Mr. Neff.
He likes to give it to the Eagles fans. I told him listen. I've told him many times, knock it off, because you're going to go out somewhere. And listen, in social media, people remember faces, and it's not too far away from pretty soon you're going to be able to hold the camera up to someone's face and be like, oh, that's who you are? We're not that far away from it, folks. But, my thing is that he left Dallas because, again, he said about Jerry Jones. So I'm just waiting for Kansas City to be, go out into the abyss. And then all of a sudden, who's going to be the new ring chasing moment?
So I think it's going to be a very good game. I do agree with you. I'm kind of tired of seeing Kansas City. I think national sentiment, everyone wants the Lions to beat San Francisco, or rooting for the Lions. But as far as that KC Baltimore game, right. I'm wondering if Monday we come on the air and we're either going to say, this is why Lamar Jackson's the MVP, or, hey, this is why Patrick Mahomes is already considered one of the 5 or 6 greatest quarterbacks of all time. I mean, I can see this game coming down to Lamar Jackson 3rd and 4, extending drives with his legs. Patrick Mahomes is 4-1 in his career when he's taken on the league's top rated and ranked defenses. So the fact that the game's in Baltimore, obviously special teams, you think of their kicker, you think of their wide receivers, they run the football. I don't know, man. It's very hard to bet against Kelsey and Mahomes and Andy Reid. And then that second game, I don't know about you, but I think, and remember too, for selfish reasons, I had Detroit winning the NFC North, as you know. I had them winning the NFC Championship, and I have them going to the Super Bowl. Those were my future bets.
Right.
2 coaches, right? You've got Shanahan with San Fran, and then you got Campbell with Detroit. And again, it was pointed out today earlier on BYP, and the prop was all over it. Shanahan might get tight if the game starts getting tight. Where Campbell, for a fact, if it's 3rd and 13 and he's running the ball and picking up 6 yards, I'll be damned. I'm going for it on 4th down because he's very aggressive. But I am leaning towards the Lions. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I would love to see the Lions in the Super Bowl. And as far as the AFC side, very hard for me to bet against Kansas City until somebody beats them.
Yeah, the one thing that makes me laugh, the one thing that makes me laugh, sorry, I had to get back to an important message that came across the wire there. But what makes you cracks me up is when you say that you throw the BYP in there, and every time you say it, makes wait, do we have another inside connection? And I keep forgetting it's you. So I feel like every time you say
back your play, sure, that's heard on obviously my YouTube channel, and of course 1029 Broad Street South, along with On Cue, which you can get on any podcast platform. Yeah, go ahead.
you quickly insert everything. Okay. News at 11. But no, it makes me laugh because it feels like, we have a back studio. Like, let's go to Back Your Play with Rich.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
So every time you say it, like, I feel like we should be going, let's go live right now to BYP.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Our correspondent.
There
the
you
man
go.
on the street, the man on the scene, as they say. Or
that's right.
Superfly would say he's got a plan to stick it to the man. I like the over in the game too. Ron O'Neal, man. I think Detroit and San Fran is going to be a back and forth game. I wanted to ask you this.
Yes.
So the MVP finalist came out, as well as the comeback player of the year. So the MVP, McCaffrey, Purdy, actually, let me get it official. Josh Allen.
Jackson.
I'm sorry. Let me get it official. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy. I think Jackson wins it. You can make a case for Allen when you look at his overall numbers. But I wanted to ask you this. The comeback player of the year, okay? I saw a couple names, and I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Whoa. So they've got Damar Hamlin,
okay,
Joe Flacco, Baker Mayfield, Tua, people were arguing was the MVP early, and Matthew Stafford. I get rid of Stafford. I get rid of Tua. I can't count Flacco, even though he had a great run. I would give it to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
But I actually thought earlier in the season, Josh Dobbs maybe. But Damar Hamlin's getting it, and I'm sorry. He does not deserve comeback player of the year. If there's an award for most inspirational, I mean, shit, the guy passed on the field.
Twice, right?
Right? Yeah, twice. Resurrected like Jesus on the seventh day. Okay? And, has an opportunity to make a play of all ages. Go ahead.
My thing is though, I do not give him comeback player. Inspirational, yes, but I won't. Why? Because of the cover up, and they know the reason why it happened. Just throwing that out there.
First of all, they tried to do the fake punt to prove to you that he was alive and well. So if there's an award for inspirational, like Arthur Ashe Award, where the ESPYs have just become a joke, give it to Damar Hamlin. Give it to him. Because the sad reality is next year he'll probably be the odds-on favorite to win it again, and he's had no impact on the season. Yet you have poor little Baker Mayfield doing these, what was he doing, Allstate commercials? Or what's the commercial? He was always friggin' hanging out by himself in the stadium. And
I thought it was Allstate.
Girlfriend comes in. What is it?
I thought it was Allstate.
Okay, whatever. Allstate. He's doing all these commercials, right?
Uh-huh.
This guy throws for 4,000 yards, and they win a friggin' playoff game. And this guy was a cast-off. Give it to him.
Yep.
So it's like we're sitting in a room, guy dies, or a guy resurrects his career. Well, they both kind of resurrected something, but I just think it's a crock of shit.
It is, because I'm telling you, everybody knows, just like when, the guy from Good Morning America, Strahan, said when he asked him a question, and there was somebody in the background saying, defer. We don't want to answer. But on this side it was COVID. That's what caused it. But they don't want to say that. They don't want to say it. And they know exactly what it was. At first, when I initially saw the impact, I thought, honestly, it was like a extreme helmet to helmet hit. That's what I thought. And I was going ballistic at the time.
Sternum.
Yeah. Right. So I was going ballistic and even Debbie, because I was telling her, how in the world these guys don't get it? They don't understand it. And then they showed the replay, I think twice. And then I was like, wait, it wasn't maybe the helmet. But when he got up and then fell down, it was almost like, okay, did he get a quick concussion? And then I started going ballistic again until they brought the medics out there. Then you knew there was a problem. But again, as much as it was talked about, as the NFL, and shame on all these people that forced people to get a vaccination on themselves because it's your body, your choice. But they forced these guys to do so. They made fun of Aaron Rodgers. Now Aaron Rodgers laughing back at everybody else, right? He faked the funk.
You're saying the cardiac arrest was due to him getting the COVID shot.
And it was a cover-up.
But cover up in, I mean, we both agree the guy did die on the field.
Correct.
Okay. So all this nonsense where, he died and then there was like a stunt double, another Damar Hamlin, like, the silhouette on the screen. You don't buy in any of that. I mean, obviously he's a living, breathing person. We can both agree because we just saw he's been on the field. He's spoken. He's alive and well. God bless. Okay. But you're saying the cover-up was the fact that they were deeming it cardiac arrest, and you think it was a combination, or he collapsed because of the shot.
Yep, because when you go back...
In addition to...
Correct, to the impact. And if you go back, you read a lot of stories, which, of course, magically they've come and, disappeared because, God forbid, you put the truth out there. The story was cycling around for people doing that. There was other people that were known that they were at work and just turned around. It was almost like if you passed by me, I turned around, oh, Q, by the way. And then when they spun around, they just hit the deck for no rhyme or reason.
Yeah. So you're a pretty smart cat. You are aware that, any outlet can push any narrative. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, look how much they're trying to censor everybody. You got that bozo in New York telling people now that social media is now a so-called pandemic, that don't believe the stuff that's out there, and we're going to ban you basically from doing so. Really, because you guys are the same clowns that are pushing lies out there all the time. So as long as everybody believes your lies, it's okay. But now you're telling people don't use social media because it's your mental health. Huh.
You're talking about the mayor, Eric Adams, saying it's very toxic.
Yeah, the bozo. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a de Blasio, when they used to call him Big Bird. I think we're almost at a point, if someone has any semblance of intelligence, and I like to think we do, and I like to think the people that tune in do, and most of the world, again, we would think has some kind of common sense. It's a form of entertainment. That's just how I look at it. I don't, the goofy video. I mean, I look at social media, X now, as a form of entertainment. I can't get vested into it. I can't. If there's a sports story or if it's from a credible source, I talk about it. We talk about it. But the other stuff, I don't give a shit if somebody tweets at me. I mean, I really don't. Meaning if someone has something negative to say, have at it. I think it's kind of ridiculous that a mayor comes out, right? I mean, I think it's more in line for younger kids, but they have access to Instagram, they have access to Facebook, they have access to the WhatsApp app. They have access to all these things that you can't always put parental controls on.
Right.
You just can't, because again, they
know how to work around it,
man.
Right. It's like if you go to Pornhub, right? You go to it and it's, are you 18 years old? What do you do? Click the X, ta-da, you're in. You don't even have to hit yes or no. Hit the X, ding, it's right there, ready, available for you.
Yeah.
So for these, it cracks me up where we're not worried about the illegal things that are going on in this country. You want to just divert everyone's attention.
Well, they want to police everything.
Correct. But it cracks me up though, because...
But just my opinion, man, and maybe I'm a little more liberal in this. I do think some things should be policed, but I'm also a big believer in freedom of speech, freedom of expression. But I think when you sit there and say, like, a mayor of, arguably one of the most famous cities in the world is, again, declaring social media as an environmental toxin, like, dude, where the hell have you been? Like, okay. But when Musk took over, a lot of it before a lot of bullying on social media, and some people can't handle that. Some people deactivate, some people steer clear. And they wanted to police more of it. They wanted to implement more guidelines. I mean, I remember, I think I said, I joked, I tweeted something a couple of years ago. I joked and I was like, yeah, you know what? I probably would have smacked him upside the head. And they said I violated, at the time, Twitter guidelines. I wasn't condoning violence. So I do think some things are over policed, Angel, but I also think some things need to be policed, if that makes sense.
It does. It
For
does a
young
little bit, but
kids,
it's
yes, but I also leave that up to the parents as well.
correct because it should be the parents. You should be monitoring your kids. Let me tell you something. Back in the day, anything that we brought home, my sister and I, mom was all over it. Empty out your backpack. Okay. One was because she wanted to make sure we did our homework. And then if there was anything in there that didn't need to be in there, I had no problem. My sister had no problem doing so. As we were growing up, same thing. Now, of course, we didn't come up with today's modern youth that has cell phones and all good fun stuff. We didn't. You know, at the time, the internet wasn't really readily available for everybody. And I had my Commodore 64, but I had to design my own programs. You know, so that's, I didn't design WhatsApp and all that good fun stuff back in the day. No one ever knew about that stuff. I mean, hell, MySpace didn't come in until years later. But for these parents to come out here and say, you know, not my child, yeah, your child. Because even when I was a school bus driver for the county, when I first moved down here, it was always a parent dead to rights on the video. That's not my child. He doesn't behave like that at home. Okay, one, lie. Two, you're not home all the time. So your child is doing things that you say that they don't do, but they actually do. My great producer in the next room, which I won't even say what the kid told my said producer in the other room, but they feel that they can say whatever. Why? Because they hear what goes on in the household and then they bring it out to the public. And then the parents, instead of being ashamed, they try to deflect it and say, oh, that wasn't my child. Really, it wasn't, because look on the camera. The video's being presented in front of you, what your child said.
Yeah.
So you can, a lot of stuff, listen, it's fun. Social media, you can go out there and enjoy it. I will never be on TikTok. I don't give a shit about TikTok. It will never be part of my platform, because to me, China laughs at us because they use it as an educational tool. Then they turn around, oh, look, stupid Americans. Once again, they turn it into some useless freaking program. And then what's even worse than that, people they never seek to amaze me, because they do what Facebook is famous for, this, because they build a profile on you. What did you look like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
And everybody screams right to it, and they put their pictures out there. Here's what I looked like 10 years ago. Look,
private information. Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So
yep.
There's things where, you know, again, the freedom of speech should never be taken away. So the way these clowns have been doing stuff right now, where they want to take that away from you, you should have the right to say whatever the hell you want to say. Period. That's why here at Martinez Company, it's always going to be that way. And I keep saying, if you are soft, this is not the place for you. I'm telling you that right now. And I keep saying over and over again, because my thing is, you are not, especially someone who served this great nation, you are not going to tell me you can't say that. My ass, I can't say it. Period. Because my thing is, we can have a conversation. We may not agree, right? That's the old saying. We can agree to not agree, or we can agree to disagree. Either way. But we're still going to share a conversation. But it's different if you get into a conversation with somebody and they bring up your viewpoint, you bring up your viewpoint, then okay, you shared a thought there. Somewhere in between there, you guys might be able to say, all right, you know, I can see your point and I can see yours. Okay. But when you get people that basically tell you, no, Q, that's not the way you're going to think anymore. Here's how you're going to think.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off.
Yeah. And well said. And that's someone like me with my personality. That's when I push back, right? Because my opinion is my opinion. What I think it might might not jive with you. But I want to go back to something you said, and I know we got to hit the bottom of an hour in a moment. We're apples and oranges, man, because when we were coming up, you know, all that other shit is smoke and mirrors. I mean, think about it. If we got in trouble or something like that, there was no pushback. We didn't have time to kind of apologize. Why? Because when we got home, who did we have to fear? Most likely, you know, it was our father, right? The worst call you ever get is wait till I get home. It's a different time. It really is. I think the younger generation, I think they have access to too much stuff. They have too much time on their hands. They don't want to work. They don't want to go to school. They want everything friggin' handed to them. They don't want to earn it the right way. They don't want to put in the time, the blood, sweat, and tears. So they're bored. So what do? I got the dog, the rescue dog. If I don't play with her, she gets bored. She starts biting stuff. I have to keep her engaged and active. Same thing with some of these youths, right? The two youths. They're so bored that they think everything should be given to them. So they want to buy time. So what are they doing now? They're on all the apps. They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. They're on IG. They're TikTok. I mean, sometimes I think to myself, how many hours are in an effing day that you have time to do? You take that away from them, man, they would be catatonic. They would turn into just mannequins. They don't know how to survive, right? I mean, for us, it was, give me a ball, even if it's deflated or not. Let me kick it around. Let me toss it around. Give me a stick. Give me a bat. Give me a wiffle ball. I'm good for the whole friggin' day. Where are you going to be? Down the street.
Yeah.
I don't like that anymore.
No, because you got to figure, and I know we did have to hit the break though, but my thing too is back in the day, it was easier to get along with everyone else. Even though people try to use the excuse, no, it was harder back in the day. No, it wasn't. Even, and believe me, it's not like we grew up in the best part of the city, but you know what? We made the best of all of our neighbors that were there. And all of us came from different ethnicities. And no one ever said a name to anybody else. Why? Because we all learned how we played. We had 2 seniors that lived at the end of the block. In the very beginning, boy, were they a pain. Until one day, someone broke into their car, and if it wasn't for us, the kids that were hanging out there, they would have never recovered their stuff. But because we happened to see it, thankfully the cops were able to, to do their job back in the day, and they got the person. After that, every day when they would see us, hey kids, how are you doing? You guys want a popsicle, whatever the case may be. But again, it was different. Our parents were always involved. No matter what you did, you met a new friend, I need to meet their parents. It was that simple.
Too many people are angry now, man. That's all it is. Everyone's fucking angry.
They are, because again, you're trying to change the mindset of the way people think. And that's not the way we used to laugh at other countries and say, man, that'll never happen here. Well, guess what, folks? It's happening here. It is happening here. So if you want to be shunned, you want to be part of society, by all means, go ahead. Have a nice life. For me, you ain't never going to shut me down. I'm sorry. I may have left Philly, but Philly will never leave out of me. And you guys can call it a stereotype all you want to, but I will say what's on my mind, period. Because I don't go for any of that horse shit. People turn around, they want to say, oh, well, you can't say that. No, I can. Because that's exactly what I end up doing. You're
this
not going to keep me
message approved by Andrew Martinez from the Democratic Republican Fuck You Party.
That's right. Go fuck yourself party. How about that one? Period. And put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Sean Martinez approves this message.
That's pretty much it. Someone's going to go back and say, I'm not listening to that show anymore. Okay, fine. That's fine. It's fine. Again, this is why the Tony Bruno Sports Network is alive and well, because again, this is not where you can shut us down. The only person that can shut it down is Tony. And the last I checked, he's not shutting down anything anytime
soon. Oh my God,
soon,
I'm breaking news. I'm sorry, Angel. I know we got to hit the bottom of the hour. Breaking news.
Yes.
So Ryan posted on Facebook, just watch Godzilla -1. Extremely disappointed. As a Godzilla fan, I've seen way better.
What the hell? What, Ryan Neff? Oh, Jesus Christ. Where you been all this time? Good Lord.
I read it and I'm like, oh, is it sports related?
No. Apparently not. Jeez Louise. He must be bored. He definitely must be bored. Holy craps. Ay. Normally we do have not Martinez Company. We normally have sports radio night here on Thursday night after Martinez Company, but not tonight. It's been a hell of a week. I got an extra early day to start tomorrow, but dude, what the hell is he watching? Good God almighty. All right. I have to send him a message afterwards. Jeez Louise. Or is it a cover up for something else he was watching? Maybe he was watching the Squiggles. And with that, we go into the break. We'll talk to you right after this.
You know I got a break.
You're listening to Martinez and Company.
That's right.
On the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Everybody doesn't like something, but nobody doesn't like Sara Lee. Everybody doesn't like something, but nobody doesn't like Sara Lee.
Oh, the big red letters stand for the jelly Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letter stands for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O pudding.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O tapioca pudding, yes, sirree.
Patty cake cookies. Patty cake cookies. Patty cake baker, you're a famous man.
Well, all I do is bake them just as good as it can.
What is your secret, Mr. Patty Cake Man?
I sample them, ladies, one from each pan.
Children stop shoving. There's more in the oven. Hey, Mom!
Put patty cake cookies on your shopping list.
Oatmeal, chocolate chip, and sugar mist. I'm seeing varieties on your market shelf.
Why, they're so good you're lucky I don't eat them all myself.
Patty cake cookies. Patty cake cookies.
Blue cellophane package, you can see what's inside.
What makes the taste of good patty cake man?
Well, to tell the truth, I sample them, two from each pan.
Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one. Schaefer pleasure doesn't fade even when your thirst is done. The most rewarding flavor in this man's world for people who are having fun. Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one. Yes, Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more.
Schaefer, the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer will pour. Must say something more somehow. So tonight, let it be low and brown. Let it be low and brown. It's been so long. Hey, I'm glad to see you. Raise your glass. Here's to health and happiness. So tonight, let it be all the best.
When you're with good friends having good times, don't just have a beer. Have a low and brown. Because good friends and good times deserve the taste of a great beer. And there's really only one. Low and brown.
Tonight, let it be low and brown.
Now, back to Martinez and Company.
It's always playing in my car.
On the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Martha Stewart says she loves Q from Martinez and Company. He knows how to turn up the heat. Here is Angel and Q. I'm going to recharge my batteries.
I'm wide awake, and all the voices in my head wanna play. You're gonna take me to the place where the bass and all the hidden ways unfold. Where the noise and the lights get too deep. I'm wide awake, and all the voices in my head wanna play. They're gonna take me to the place where the bass and all the hidden ways unfold. Where the noise and the lights get too deep.
Welcome back to Martinez Company. I am Angel Martinez. He is Ricardo Quiñones. Martinez Company brought to you by the Tony Bruno Sports Network. We are live and well here on the network. You guys can hear us Monday through Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. Don't forget also Pete Shepard in the morning, starting your day off from 7 to 10 a.m., followed by Defo and Luby from 10 to 12. Then the best of between 12 and 1. The newest show on the network, LFG, with Dave Benz, Jim Cosey-Moore, Matt Fowler, the producer, and Jess Taylor. Then Tony and Miss Robin from 3 to 6 on the Tony Bruno Show. Back here with Martinez Company from 6 to 8 p.m. And then normally it is the AJ Johnson Bleacher Brothers Show right after us from 8 to 10 p.m. But because he does have the Rona, since I was saying Vid earlier, but since he has the Rona, he'll be off. He'll be back next week. And normally his show runs Monday through Thursday evenings. So I talked about at the top of the hour, at the beginning part of the show, the first quarters, we are now in the fourth quarter, two interesting articles by the New York Post The first one, which is, I was kind of wondering if there was going to have some meaning behind it. Do you remember about the story that we heard about the two people that froze to death? In they were at the Chiefs watch party.
You mean the fans?
Yeah.
Yeah, that reeks of conspiracy too, but go ahead. Yes.
Right. Well, here you go. Parents of Chiefs fan found frozen to death alongside two friends in the yard think it was a trio that was dragged outside by scientist pal who concocted something. The story reads, the family of one of the three Kansas City Chiefs fans found dead under mysterious circumstances in a friend's snowy yard has widely suggested they could have been drugged and left for dead. Ricky Johnson's father made the explosive, unfounded allegation, even as cops made clear they're not treating the deaths as suspicious and have stressed that it is not yet clear whether drinks or drugs were involved. The friend inside the house, respected HIV data scientist Jordan Willis, has also strenuously denied knowing anything about the plight of his three dying friends, maintaining he was asleep inside with headphones on. Ricky Johnson Sr. told Fox News Digital that his 38-year-old son was not, quote-unquote, irresponsible and would not have gone outside in the snow without a coat to freeze to death, along with his friends David Harrington, who was 37, and Clayton McGinney, who was 36 years old. Quote, I believed he drugged them, dragged them outside, and waited 2 days to call the police, Johnson Sr. said of Willis, whose attorney trashed the claim as ridiculous. He may have done some drugs and stuff in the past, but I do not believe all three of them did drugs and fell over dead in the backyard, Johnson Sr. said of his son, who had three of his own children. And they show the picture of the boys out there. Also, I'm not going to say that during the game he didn't have some drinks, but he wasn't irresponsible that he was going outside and freeze to death, he claimed of his son, whose coat was left inside the rental house where the pals had watched the game. You're talking about three grown men. If he was out there just freezing like they said, he could have kicked out a window to get into the house, the father continued. Johnson's mother, Norma Chester, shared the same theory while conceding it was just her quote-unquote thinking rather than based on specific evidence. Seriously, these were responsible men. How did they go in a backyard and freeze to death? All three of them? She asked a news site. Something that comes to my mind, this guy Willis wants to brag about how smart he is. He's a scientist. My thoughts are that he concocted something and gave it to all three men, she suggested. How could have this happened? And again,
yeah, I mean, there was another friend that was there that left and said when he left, they were all fine and watching Jeopardy. And you mentioned the guy Willis. I think he holds a PhD, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this reeks of a Dateline special. I mean, it's really unfortunate. You're talking frozen to death outside at a long period of time. So maybe they were slipped something. It just doesn't add up. It's like when you see these stories about when people go on cruises and then all of a sudden that one person happens to just go overboard.
Right.
And then you learn that, they were drugged or someone slipped something in there and, or, they were murdered and then tossed over or unconscious and tossed over. So yeah, this dude probably better not leave the state. Because if you think about it right now, they won't say it, but he's suspect number one, right? Because it's always who are the last person or persons to see said person alive.
Right.
Right. You don't need to be a detective or to be in law enforcement to know that. Shit, we watched that on friggin' Matlock, right?
Exactly. Plus, even when you go outside, and there's been plenty of drunk people, even they get, you get that shock force where it was, whoa, what the hell is going on here? And they go usually stumbling back in the house. They might fall, but they bounce right back up because it's cold. So I don't think no one in their right mind is going outside to freeze to death. Nobody.
Maybe they found something in the house, saw something they shouldn't have saw, heard something they shouldn't have heard. Man, you think you know people. But yeah, more stuff's going to come out with this. It's a very bizarre story. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but very bizarre.
Well, look at the, remember over there, what was it, in the Midwest, where the college students, where the guy who had delivered not too long ago at the house and went to deliver, I think, food or whatever case be, then came back, we killed the people that were in the house. One could hear the other person being slain, and then he went back to New Hampshire, where he was from the East Coast. Like, just drove home, like, nothing to see here, folks. I'm just going to drive back.
Well, it's like remember the Baylor players, and years ago, the story of the players that just disappeared from the Raiders.
Yeah.
They were on that boat or whatever, and one of them came back. I mean, 3 go out and 1 comes back. You're out at sea. You're delusional. It's every man for himself. I would hate to think that happened or what happened, but it could be that these guys found something or overheard something, or maybe this guy was trying to experiment with something and went wrong, and then he had a massive cover up, man.
There was something. Whatever it was something. Now, hopefully they'll get to find out exactly what it is, but we'll see. And in the second one, again from the New York Post. Now, anytime there's a teacher story, there's usually something that goes along with it, and we're not talking about the actual education portion of it.
Right.
Married teacher who went viral when adoring class surprised her on Good Morning America pleads guilty to sex with a student up to 30 times. 30. An Arkansas teacher once surprised on national TV by adoring students has pleaded guilty to having sex with a high school boy up to 30 times. Again, emphasizing married. Married mom Heather Hare, 33 years old, first made headlines in 2020 when she was surprised on Good Morning America by students bidding her goodbye as her home economics class was continued for her distance learning during the pandemic. She now potentially faces life behind bars after pleading guilty Monday to transporting a minor across state lines for unlawful sexual activities, prosecutors said. The once beloved teacher was arrested last April when a 17-year-old student came forward to report her repeated abuse. The Arkansas Democrat-Gazette also reported. Wait. Suspect. The Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. The boy, identified only as JR, told police that he met Hare on the first day of his senior year at Bryan High School in the fall of 2021. Hold on. All right. Well, Hare. No, nothing. 17 years old, Hare. Okay, I got it. Assistant U.S. Attorney John Ray White told the court hearing, Hare began one-on-one counseling sessions with the minor victim, eventually giving him her personal phone number and primarily communicating with him through Instagram and Snapchat, the prosecutor's office said. At one point, Ms. Hare told JR that she had a dream of them having sex. White said, the minor victim and Hare had sex approximately 20 to 30 times throughout 2021 to 2022 school term, including multiple times at her Conway residence, in her vehicle, in her classroom, and parking lots at the Bryan High School. Good Lord Almighty, lady. It included sex during April 22 school trip to Washington, D.C., when Hare took Junior and 3 female students for a national life smarts competition tied to her family consumer sciences course. There's so many jokes there, folks. So many.
That's horrible.
Junior advised they plan to have sex on the trip and not to have to worry about being caught. White said Hare did come to his hotel room and the two engaged in sex. The now former teacher broke down in court. She was asked if everything the prosecutor detailed was 100% accurate. Quote, yes, sir, she replied softly before confirming she pleaded guilty.
That's a pedophile, man. She's grooming that kid. I mean, that's horrible.
Listen,
I can't tell you how many stories like that we get in this area. There was actually a posting about public officials who have been arrested over the last 13 years. One of them happened to be, back in the day, pretty prominent face on the local NBC affiliate and did some radio and was basically, a man among the people, so to speak. And then you find out that, unwanted advances when he was teaching and, these guys in certain positions, especially of education. And in this case, it's a female doing it to a young male student. That's 26 years old, 13. I mean, that's rape. That's illegal. And you should go to jail.
You should, because again, and I know you're always going to have people saying, well, he shouldn't say anything. But regardless.
I should say, let me clarify, Angel, I apologize. Sex with a minor.
Right.
We don't know if it was, I shouldn't have used the term rape, but sex with a minor. But yeah, that's illegal.
Correct. But either way, I mean, you're always going to have people on the other side of the fence, right? They're going to be like, well, he shouldn't ever say anything to anybody. No one will find out. People talk. Unfortunately, people talk. So someone eventually would end up spilling the beans. So to me, first, number one, you were married. let's get that one first and foremost. And how is your husband supposed to feel after all this stuff that goes on? And even if he had any kind of inclination of maybe he had thought something, but you kept convincing him that nope, nothing's going on here, nothing to see here, then this happens. I just, it really makes you wonder sometimes what people really think. And these teachers are supposed to be higher educators. You're supposed to be looking out for the welfare of these minors, of these children. And then for you to approach it, and what makes it even worse, it's more prevalent now than ever. Because before it was like you might hear it once, every 10 years, 15 years at max. Now it seems like every year there's at least 7 or 8 of them that come out and yeah, I just wanted something different. Well, how about something different with someone of your own capacity, not of a younger persuasion?
Yeah, I mean, those are just troubled people, and they need help, and they should go to jail. And you feel for the kid, and like I said, man, I don't put anything past anyone anymore. But you're talking about people in positions of power, and they're supposed to mentor, they're supposed to protect, they're supposed to educate, and then you have to hear stories like this, which are very prevalent. Right. But then it could have been a situation, right, that could have turned out to take it a step further where, you get a 13, 14-year-old, they fall madly in love with the person realizes they made a mistake. And then what happens? The next story is kid goes on a shooting spree.
Yep.
Like it manifests itself. It builds up. It turns into just something that it shouldn't be. I mean, you can only vet so much, but you would like to think that when you're in that type of position, you're there to just do your job, which is educate, right? Help, mentor kids to go to middle school, to go to high school, to go to college, help inspire them as opposed of taking advantage of them, position of power. So yeah, that's a roughie. I'm not a fan of that. No, we can't close on the downer. So can I give you a conspiracy one that's a little more lighthearted?
Sure, why not?
Your girl, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Right. So now there's a conspiracy that she faked being injured and she could have easily dodged the fate.
Yeah. If you look at the video, if you take a look at the video,
your girl, man, I'm just saying.
You can see it right. I saw the super slow-mo and the guys and girls from Talking Hoops, they always share this stuff on Instagram. And you can see on the super slow-mo, she saw the girl coming. And then, I mean, because the other girl was like, what the hell is that all about? She just gave her that look and kept on walking. In the meantime, this was like, oh, I'm a woozy. Where am I?
She could have made that easy pivot after scoring 45, even though they lost to Ohio State. Just make the pivot and get out of the way.
Yep. Nope. To me, that hurts your WNBA numbers. I'm sorry. Because in the end, and if anybody... I'll leave it alone.
If whether you believe it or not, it's it's almost like sour grapes. You lost and now you're kind of faking an injury. I don't know if that was necessarily the case, but I thought it was interesting because I know you like Caitlin Clark. She's a great player, but it's funny how you slow down the video now and you're like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, you can see as she can see out of her peripheral, this girl's coming. And anytime you try to avoid somebody, usually both parties are like, oh, it's like, like two cars braking. One tries to turn the steering wheel, but it's too late because the impact is coming. Except for this girl, you could see like when they hit, the other girl that kept going kind of looked at her like, did you not see me? I mean, obviously you saw me.
So your car reference, let's talk about that for a moment. So would that hold true if, say, I'm behind a car that just has his turn signal on constantly, but is not turning?
And you know what's funny? Earlier today, was it today or yes? Oh no, yesterday. So yesterday they tried the new number out for the new system that we're about to use here after.
You were telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. So Tony Bruno, he was the one that was telling me, he goes, "Hey, are you turning? Is your turn signal stuck?"
So and I'm not the only one.
Yeah, no. So I said to Tony, I'm laughing as he's saying it. So don't worry. Q says the same thing. He goes, Jesus, man, where are you? I'm like, I'm in a turning lane.
All I think about when I hang up the phone, I was like, does this fucking guy just make squares all day? Does he just keep going?
I do like NASCAR. I just turn left all the time. Eventually I turn right.
I'll totally cut you off. I'm like, stop. Do me a favor. Can you please just turn signal off?
Safety first.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. It's like Ray Fickle. Laces out. Yeah. Safety first.
Laces out.
You have to. It's just the way it is. No, it's just...
real quick, I think I asked you this. Do you watch True Detective?
Every once in a while.
Oh, all right. I mean, that's not really the answer I was looking for. I would have preferred you said yes or no. Well, every once in a while, you have to watch it. So
okay.
Look, by the way, we're talking about not pushing beliefs and opinions and stuff with people. And I come and I say to you, you have to watch it.
Right.
Fantastic. I went through season 1, Woody Harrelson, Matthew McConaughey, fantastic. Season 2, season 3 was very good, but I can't wait to watch season 4 because the girl that co-stars with Jodie Foster is Kaylee Reese, who is a professional fighter who I've gotten to know well and I've called some fights with, and she stars in the role with Jodie Foster. So I get to check out her acting chops. Oh. So that's why I'm telling you, you have to watch seasons 1 through 4.
All righty. Well, I'll have to do so. And with that, the end of the show, fourth quarter here, Martinez Company. Once again, as we always say every single night towards the end of the show here, please do not drink and drive, arrive alive, don't text and drive, because we want to talk to you guys all tomorrow. So with that, enjoy your evening, and we will talk to you all tomorrow evening.
There's only one real place for total sports. That's the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
And choo-choo, Charlie, and all the good fun stuff. Listen, to those who watch over on Twitch, once again here on Facebook, thank you all very much. We will be here tomorrow. My co-host will not be tomorrow because he has fights and stuff to talk about and do. And he's a very popular gentleman. Am I incorrect?
I don't know about popular, but yeah, calling the fights is correct. Yes.
Okay. Listen, if you hung out with Roy Jones Jr., sorry, you're popular, my friend.
I was very lucky and humble to call the fights with Roy Jones Jr. So I just leave it at that. But hey, you have a wonderful Friday. Delco Dave, sliding in, good to go. If I can tune you guys on a little bit before I go on air, I will certainly do that. And look forward to Monday, man. Got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Sure will, because there'll be plenty of game action to talk about as well. So thank you all once again for tuning in. We do appreciate it. It is Angel Martinez, Rich Quinones, Martinez Company live Monday through Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. here on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.